And here we go. We're just waiting on Ragai and Tristal, I guess. And yeah, we got the Death Necklace, Erdrick's armor, and a key, so we're starting off big.
Oh boy, Erdrick's armor in the throne room.
And looks like we're in a desert area. I think this is somewhere near... Is this where Tablet Cave used to be?
That appeared to be correct, Sigma fan. Both of our runners looking for their first kill. It looks like Fryteeth just took out a ghost and advances to level 2.
5, 4, 7, 1. That's some good levels.
Oh, the 5 strength will definitely help him hopefully take out some bigger enemies here, although ghosts look to be, so far, the pick of the litter in Zone 0.
Or these Magidrakes. And we got Ragai stream. We're having a little technical difficulties, folks, so we'll get everything shipshape. By the way, Ragai apparently at level 3 and has found a town. And it's going to be Breckenary. So it'd be a good idea to maybe go in there, get some weapons, get some items, and you can do that there.
Yep, as these vanilla map will be in play, so will the shops. The shops will only have available in each one what would normally be there. So don't expect to find the Flame Sword or Silver Shield outside of Cantlin.
Paradox, the first 3 chests were the normal magic key in order to get out of the throne room. Death Necklace and Erdrick's armor. And we have another town and a cave. And it's coal. Cool. So hopefully there's something good in this check spot. And Ragai shows up. It's the Stones of Sunlight.
Now, the Stones of Sunlight being one of our 3 key items that the runners need to find. The Stones of Sunlight, the Silver Harp, which will later be turned in for the Staff of Rain, and Erdrick's Token. When all 3 of those are found and given to the gentleman affectionately known as the Jerk, he'll give us the Rainbow Drop, and that will allow us access to Charlotte Castle, the lair of the Dragon Lord.
Yep, by the way, Tristal has gotten some leveling. Big level 5, 12 hit points, 15 magic points. That makes hurt more feasible, and it'll be easier to take out these wolves. Get some good grinding done. And by the way, the cave that our runners have entered in, that looks like to be Tablet Cave. No, on second... No, it's not. Uh-oh. Sleep and hurt more. That'll do it.
Well, Battle Slimes will not be quite so friendly, it seems. But the mountain cave being so close by means I would imagine our runners that have found it will probably dive. There are 5 chests there, and exploration as well as picking up equipment upgrades will certainly be high on everybody's priority list.
That is true. Unfortunately, it's going to be a while before Stop Spell hits, so... That was just grind.
That's a fair point, and with Metal Slimes having the highest agility in the game outside of the Dragon Lord himself, they're not going to be able to run from those battles either.
And Fryteeth is dying. Fryteeth is dove. And unfortunately, we have an AK. Yeah, all the enemy places have been randomized, so you're going to run into some trouble going to where Cole normally is.
Looks like Tristal and Archfield Monk both taking the grind and hopefully outstat your opponents. Meanwhile, Ryguy and Fryteeth both opting for exploration.
And we have Cole. Well, we have where Cole normally is, but Tristal's back in Cole, and we have Garanham. So it looks like Red Guy's going to load up on our herbs and maybe a torch or two.
I don't think there was anything else he could afford there. The big items in Garinham would be your hand axe for 560, large shield for 800, and I believe a chainmail for 300. He didn't have enough for any of that.
And Red Guy realizes that. By the way, some heads-up strategy by Archfield. Ran into a match Wyver, decided to put it to sleep and just blast him with hurt. It's a grade A strategy and gets you almost 100 experience points, and since we're in very fast leveling, it's a good idea.
Archfield Monk picking up a couple of equipment upgrades. In Cole, it looks like a copper sword and small shield. That should help him out a little bit with his grind.
And Red Guy finds Hawks. That's nowhere near enough, so he decides to get out of there. I don't know where Archfield is. Is he in Tablet?
I believe he was in Tablet, yes, and looked to be fairy water at the bottom.
And unfortunately for Tristal, running to a Magic Wyvern, that will clip his wings, so to speak.
Archfield looks to be a little lost in the tablet cave trying to find his way out. I think he made it to the first floor, and there he is. Great. Don't want to get lost in there, especially without outside.
Torch. And you see Archfield doing good strategy, put the Wyvern to sleep, and then go after it. Whoa! Did you see that power gain? 31 power.
Well, that's certainly going to help with exploration because they could be much more confident that at least a fair bit more enemies are not going to be a death sentence.
And Red Guy found something. I didn't get a good look at it. Must have been a trading cave. And Fryteeth has his key.
Well, that's a huge pickup. Fryteeth, the first one to make it to the first chest in the mountain cave, it appears. So he will have that advantage. But he's also finding out about metal slimes with Sleep Hurt more. So still, that's a big get for him.
And speaking about big gets, Red Guy finds Rimmeldar.
Well, that's the other way to get keys. Find one in a chest or find Remolder. Buy them for cheap.
Alright, let's look at these chests. We have an herb. We have some gold. We have more gold. And the magic key, so now he can go buy more keys.
It's interesting. He took the risk there by going into the treasury first. He would have been.
He had to. He didn't have enough money. He needed 85. He only had 84.
Fair enough. It's a tough call. I mean, you don't know how far Mulder is. I guess that was the first chest in the mountain cave, but you do know, or he does know how treacherous it is with those metal slimes. Angel FM, though, bringing up a good point that he saved before doing so he could have just reset if he didn't find what he was looking for.
And by the way, those keys are important because underneath Tangential Castle is Swamp Cave. And it looks to be at the part where Garringham used to be. Not Garringham, but Cantlin used to be. Oh, Rainbow Drop Cave. Sorry. It's been a while since I played Vanilla.
Yep, Fryteeth giving us our first look at the second continent, so there will be 2 more locations up to the north. Meanwhile, it looks like Ryguy is making the play for Cantlin. Well, the Cantlin vanilla spot, I suppose.
And unfortunately for Red Guy, runs into a metal slime, but is able to get away. Now we have another cave for Fryteeth, and this has to be Garen's grave.
I'm guessing he'll head up north and see what's in the vanilla Swamp South location, and then pop back down to the grave. If he does a grind out of there, he knows that gold is available in the Tangential Treasury.
Well, we know what it is. It's got to be Freebie Cave. And gets an herb, so that's you can grind some healing and save your MP. Now, Archfield, we're going to take a look at these 4 chests. Didn't see that. Gold. Dragons, another dragon scale. Oh, wings. It was wings in that chest. And Rimmildar is the trade. It is Garen's grave. And another herb, so nothing important here. But we do have coordinates. It is 67 south, 42 east.
Those are interesting coordinates. I think that's going to end up being in that mountain maze north of Vanilla Cantlin. So that will be an area that typically, even in the vanilla game, you don't really have any reason to go. So hopefully our runners have that mapped out, because that will be a very difficult count without saving the princess.
But as we have gotten a note from our chat, and we thank you, because we have very fast leveling and speed hacks, so we can't see all of the text. It does look like that Fryteeth did find the sword. And it looks like Archfield is doing a gold grind right now. He's going to grind up for Silver Shield money.
Trista looks to be doing the same. Meanwhile, Ryguy got sent back, got most of the way to Cantlin, but was sent home before he quite got there.
And now Frightief will get the stuff that's in the treasury, which is 2 chests of gold, an herb, and a magic key. And he's got a gold grind.
Now, unfortunately, he happened to pick up the 2 gold chests first, so he did not get a gold grind active.
By the way, Frightief close to level 8, that's where that big power gain was. And there is the heart trading cave. Oh, and Droll Magi's breathe fire. So that's money gone. Oh, wombo combo. That's worse.
Answering the question in chat, David TKI, this is the vanilla map. The things that will be different is which towns and caves are on the tiles that typically would populate the vanilla locations. So as we just saw Frightief walk into Rimuldar, that is at the vanilla Hawksnest location.
And some gold in Rimuldar, so that will help buy keys. Ooh, and a golem out there. That's way out of the price range.
Yeah, without the fairy flute, I don't think golems are going to be too friendly, especially with the low agility that all runners have so far.
Yep. Archfield might be able to get away with it. He does have a strength agility build going. But Frightief, I don't think he's got enough to do anything. He's going to need to level 8 to... Looks like he's getting ready to find Hawksnest again, so that could be doable with that big 31 experience price game. By the way, Curse Belt and I forgot the 2 other things in and Jerk Cave back half of Garanem. Well, Archfield's gonna show us what are in these chests. Fairy Water and Torch.
So at this point, based on what we've seen, did we see a full clear of the grave? I think beside that, we only have the Overworld spot and Hawksnest still available. So there's 4 potential locations?
Points out, somebody puts that, no, just top 3, and one of them was the sword.
Okay, so it looks like we have 4 available spots left then for the Silver Harp and the Erdrick's Token, both of which are key items that our runners will need to find. It'll be interesting to see which is located where.
Archfield heads into Hawksnest. He's unfortunately no weapon. No, he's got a copper sword. I'm sorry, he's got a copper sword. And hopefully there's something okay in the spot.
Golem is not terribly okay, but the excellent move! Oh man, he has... No, just not quite enough.
No, you might have to wait and get that fairy flute.
Raised my hopes and dashed them quite expertly, sir.
Is that a Futurama reference?
Maybe.
I admit, haven't watched that show in a while. By the way, huge stat gains for level 8 for Bright Thief. I think he's ready for Hawk's Nest now.
Looks like Ryguy is now taking the top 3 chests in the grave. It'll be interesting to see after picking up the Fighter's Ring and Erdrick's Sword. Oh, actually Erdrick's Token?
Yep.
So we just have Silver Harp then, that still needs to be found, which is either downstairs or one of the remaining 2 search spots.
And Bright Thief is selling off the Cursed Belt to get a Dragon Scale and other items.
It looks like Ryguy is headed downstairs. We're about to see chest number 4.
It's going to get some good levels along the way. It's a magic key, so chest 5 is still an option. Meanwhile, look at level 12 with Archfield Monk. 102 HP. It's going to be higher for everyone else. But with that agility and that high HP, that might provide a Death Necklace option. Last chest, we do not know, Lord of the Synth. We do not know.
Fourth chest was a magic key. So we have just one left here at the bottom, as Ryguy heads there now, probably about 12 tiles away. And it's just a torch.
Oh, then,
Okay, I'm outie. See you later.
Then that leaves... Oh. You might have to defeat the Golem without the Fairy Flute. It can be done, but it's difficult.
Well, it's tough to say. I think only one of our runners has gone to Cantlin and has gotten coordinates at this point. The coordinates could still be the Fairy Flute, which would leave the Silver Harp in Hawksness. Alternatively, if the harp is on the map, then Hawksness is irrelevant. It's just putting the pieces together as to who's been where exactly, and with 4 runners, and especially with our fast text on, that makes it a little bit challenging to determine. Fryteeth very effectively taking out an Armored Knight, which looks to be 75% stop spell. With Erdrick's armor early on, they are not terribly much of a threat, even without Healmore, it seems.
Yeah, but what has me worried is that DL2 is DL2 breath at 25%. That's, you gotta play safe with that. And as we just saw on, in your upper right-hand side,
Archfield Monk also making the play to full clear the grave. We'll be heading down to his disappointing torch replacement in just a minute or so.
He's going to be at 13, so that helps out a lot.
Absolutely. Archfield Monk has a couple of levels on Tristle and 3 levels on Ryguy and Fryteeth, so he's certainly in the XP lead with a little bit of exploration lag, which probably will even out here relatively shortly.
We just got to figure out what we haven't found yet. What caves we haven't found.
I think among our runners, we've seen everything except for the check in Hawksness and the overworld search spots. We've seen Freebie Cave, we've gotten to the bottom of Tablet, we've full cleared both Mountain and Grave. Cole, Garinham.
And Tristle now has the coordinates. Since there's a golem in Hawksnest, I think maybe now's the time you go back to Swamp Cave and see what's there.
I don't believe any of our runners checked the grind tile in the Swamp Cave, so we're not sure what's there yet. I could be incorrect on that, though.
And Archfield's grinding.
And it looks like he might be trying to Death Warp here. Use of the Fighter's Ring against the Blue Dragon. He only has a large shield. He might be going for the silver.
Yeah, Garinham is actually Cantlin's in vanilla, in its vanilla spot. So, Fryteeth at 12. He's now going to go against the Golem. Oh, the Golem was on the fairy float. So now we know what's on the overworld search spot. It will be the Silver Harp.
So since that's required, it will be interesting to see if our runners elect to save the princess, given where the coordinates likely are.
Well, you kind of need to do it because that could be a better grind spot than the Golem. Could be an Axe Knife for all we know.
Tristle actually headed in the direction of where we think the coordinates lie. It's possible that he may have done some pre-mapping that allowed him to know where the coordinates would be without having to count them out.
Yeah, with the map being vanilla, that is a definite possibility. And it looks like he's in that mountain path where people claim where the search spot is.
Now, there's really no other reason to go up there because there's not anything there. So my guess is he knows where he's going. At least I hope so.
Well, he's going to get the harp before anybody else, but the problem is he needs to find Hawksnest. Well, not Hawksnest, he needs to find the grave. There it is. He does have the silver harp now. Now it's all a matter of he's got to find Garen's grave now.
Yep, very interesting. Tough to tell which of our runners is really out in front right now. Exploration-wise, and picking up the Silver Harp Crystal, that's definitely a big pickup. But meanwhile, Archfield in the experience lead, both Ryguy and Fryteeth close on their heels.
I would say Fryteeth's got the advantage. He's got everything else and now has the coordinates. But then again, Archfield's almost there too.
Well, to some degree, if either of our remaining runners, or any of our 3 remaining runners, took the same approach that Tristal did to map things out ahead of time, that could save a significant amount of time in what looks to be a pretty close race.
Looks like Fryteeth is not comfortable or couldn't map it out in his head, so he's gonna go to the search spot. And it is an X-Knight. That is a very friendly. Ooh-hoo. Yeah, that is very friendly for him indeed. He's gonna get up to level 13. Now, the problem for our runners is that no hurt more until either 18 or 19. So you gotta figure, do you grind on the Axe-Knights or do you grind on Golems?
Based on the stats that we have right now, I don't necessarily foresee we're going to have to go any higher than 17. 17, as we talked about at the top of the broadcast, is the level that you would learn Heal More, which is, barring some crazy stats like 190 strength and 200 plus HP, necessary.
Tristal having bad luck with that metal slime, and now Archfield does have the oldie coordinates, and Fryteeth rescued the princess.
Ooh, it looks like Fryteeth actually made his way to continent number 2, thinking that the coordinates would be on that section of land. Unfortunately for him, he's going to have to take the long way around and circle back.
That is the case. However, Ryguy did pick up the Silver Harp. He's played a lot of the vanilla game. Now he's going to go to the Jerk Cave. Well, he can't go to the Jerk Cave. He's got to go to the Trading Cave first.
Yep, the staff trade-in is in the vanilla mountain cave spot, which he's just about to. The Jerk is in the back of Garinham, pretty much on the other side of the map, but he knows where all those things are, so it's really grind and go mode for Ryguy at this point.
So Ryguy will avoid the honey trap. And there's the trade-in. So, Archfield now back in Hogsness. If I remember correctly, Archfield does know the coordinates. But I guess he's grinding to 17, gonna get everything done in one fell swoop.
He may also be thinking the writing is on the wall for those coordinates. It's a very long walk to an area that doesn't really have anything else. If the harp were here, this would be much easier and faster for him. Unfortunately, that is not the case.
And Rega is going to be the first to get his drop, but he's going to have a long way to go in order to get the level 17 that he needs.
I think Archfield heard you, Sigma fan. He's choosing to grind to those golems while he's there, not wasting his current location. It looks like there were some big stat gains there at 16 as well. Double digits in, I think, everything but strength. So, big level 16.
You got to get some good sleep luck, and it looks like Archfield's got it. A few more golems to go, and he will be at 17, and then he could do some cleanup because Cantlin and where the Silver Harp is are right near each other.
I was going to say, I was interested to see how far Archfield would actually grind out. Just based on the stats now at 16, I think our runners would be very comfortable taking on the Dragon Lord. So dive and grinding 17, I think, a very viable strategy, depending, of course, on what Sharlock has in store for our runners.
Absolutely. And yes, everybody's got the sword.
I think Tristel was the only one of our runners.
Archfield thinking? Oh, he's going to rescue the princess.
Well, it looked like he was going to there for a moment, but perhaps changing his mind.
What is Archfield doing?
Now, that's a good question. Angel FM brings up a good point. Could be counting it out on the map right now. It's certainly not against any rules to have maps available and used during a race, whether that's for any of the dungeons, which can be very difficult to navigate in the dark if you're not accustomed to it, or the overworld in this case. Typically, we don't think about that because the map is almost always randomized, but since we are using the vanilla map, he could just be trying to count it out that way.
And the thing with Archfield, he does have a big experience point lead. However, Ragai is closing in. And speaking of heads up plays, we forgot Frightief saved the princess first. So he's going to be on the way to get his Silver Harp.
Yeah, unfortunately, the harp is just in a very awkward location on the vanilla map that it's difficult to say where it is without actually having the map in front of you. And as we're seeing, he's a little bit too far south, so he's going to have to take, again, another looping detour to get up to where the harp is.
Yeah, but thankfully it's just one loop instead of several loops that you would have in a normal randomized race. And he could level grind on the way, so there's no harm, no foul.
Yeah, absolutely. He's finding some great enemies. Although he decided to run from that golem. Guy headed back into Hawksnest, looking to continue his grind, most likely.
Still going to be doing the same thing. Now Fry Thief's got the silver harp.
Makes good use of the return spell that he just learned here at level 14. Heads back to Tantagel, now just to do his turn-ins. Heading down to Staff of Rain Cave and then eventually to pick up the Rainbow Drop.
And Archfield's getting dangerously close to 17 and dangerously close to Garanum.
Guy checking his stats, looks to have finished his grind, probably with the intention now to head over to Charlotte Castle and make his play.
No, he's got to be at 17. Maybe he'll grind in Charlotte, who knows.
Given their stats, I wouldn't be surprised if he does choose to do that. I think, barring, again, a very difficult Charlock, he'll be able to pick and choose his battles on the way down.
Yeah, the stats are very helpful. And Archfield just passed it. He just passed where the harp is. Meanwhile, Freyteef got his harp, and Tristal is almost there. The only difference between Tristal, Fraggai, and Archfield is that Tristal and Fraggai have large shields. Archfield's got the silver shield.
Yeah, that silver shield may actually come in handy in repelling some enemies potentially in Charlock with a defense power now already in the high 90s.
Now Archfield is has the general area. There it is, Archfield's got it. And Reggae has plopped down that rainbow drop and now has the bridge. Now he is making his way to Sherlock, so he'll start his dive.
Looks like Tristal's going to be doing the same here shortly. We'll be heading through the Swamp Cave and heading to the second continent. And actually, both of our other runners, Fryteeth, making the Rainbow Drop right now,
That's
and
17
Archfield
for
Monk just
Ragai.
picked up the staff.
17 for Ragai, so he's now in go mode. And he's got a high of 21, low of 10, so that is definite go mode.
Ragai heading into Zone 2 in Charlock. Doesn't look to be anything... Oh, sorry, that was still on the first floor. We'll be heading into Zone 2 here shortly. Did see a red dragon there in the first zone. Could be a blockade, but so far he is able to navigate through it.
Yep, now he's on the diamond floor. Tristal has Heal More already, so he doesn't have to do much grinding, but is running some enemies that are not nice, namely those red Durgans.
And that red dragon laughing at Tristal's 91 agility, saying, "Come on."
And now on the U floor for Ragai. Ragai is looking to be ready to go against the Dragon Lord. Just all depends on what is in that last search, that last enemy type. And by the way, 150 HP at level 17. He could throw on that Death Necklace and be perfectly sound to do so and finish off that Dragon Lord a little bit quicker if he thinks he's being chased, which he is by Tristan.
And as we're heading into some impending Dragon Lord fights, keep in mind we have all of our runners who run Dragon Warrior Randomizer and others. Just pop their links into the chat. Please give them a follow. That's Ragai, Fryteeth, Tristal MTG, and Archfield Monk. I'm Diabetes the Second, of course, Sigma Fan, with me in the commentators booth. We also have our restreamer Eremacy, and tracking this very, very fast race, Angel FM and Lord of the Synth.
And will he... Ragai is not going to equip the Death Necklace.
With
No,
how
he
fast
already
this
did.
fight's gonna go? I was gonna say,
Yeah.
with how fast this fight's gonna go, I wouldn't be surprised if menuing to it was actually slower. The biggest danger in this fight, I think, is the fact that it goes so quickly. It's very easy to not pay attention to your HP and potentially miss menu or forget to heal more when you're at risk.
And the big thing is getting those lucky doubles. And that's it, get your GGs out. Ragai has just defeated the Dragon Lord. He is going to be the first to finish, and he is going to get 5 big points, bringing his total up to 20, and he is going to be getting a top 4 finish. Big SRL time of 50 minutes, 27 seconds. Did not need to rescue the princess while the others did. It is a big achievement. And Tristal's wrapping it up too.
This turning out to be a very, very close race, despite the different routes that our runners took to get there. Looks like Tristal's going to fall just about a minute short of first place in Ragai.
Yeah, but he really cut into that time, by the way, by putting on that death necklace. And
more GGs in chat for Tristal.
Into it under a minute.
Yep, official SRL time for Tristal at 51:17, just 50 seconds behind Ragai. I think, Sigma Fan, you're right. That Death Necklace play may have saved him a bit of time. I think Tristal also skipped out on the bottom two chests in the grave because of his Order of Exploration. So that also made this a lot closer than it was initially.
Yeah, meanwhile, Archfield Monk is almost finishing up too. He's almost at that enemy tile. Hopefully we can get Ragai and Tristal and Archfield in here.
All right, we've got Archfield Monk getting ready to start his Dragon Lord fight, just as Fryteeth lays down the Rainbow Drop about to enter Sharlock, just a couple minutes behind.
And we have them both. Here, we have Tristal, we have Ragai. Congratulations, you two. That was a nice, somewhat jetty seed with speed hacks and everything just lining up well for both of you.
Yeah, I saw that was a close finish, so GG's, Tristal. Sure, that was a fun finish to watch.
Yeah, GG's, well done.
Yeah, it's hard to complain about a seed when the second chest you open has the armor in it, so...
Yeah, that definitely made it a little fun.
And get your GGs out for Archfield Monk, as he just finished.
Yep, official SRL time for Archfield Monk of 53:44. Again, just 2.5 minutes behind Tristal MTG, so very, very close finishes here. While Fryteeth continues his dive into Sharlock, sure to be just, again, a couple minutes more.
And it did turn out that the hesitation did cost Archfield. So you're right about that, Ragai. Diabetes, I'm sorry, Diabetes.
Yeah, we'll hopefully ask Archfield about that when he comes in, hopefully. Ragai, I do have a question for you. We noticed that no princess save, but a very quick beeline to the coordinates. Methinks some pre-counting?
Yeah, it's just the vanilla map, and then you just sort of subtract wherever Tantagle is, or add depending on which direction. So, see, I didn't need to rescue the princess for that. I had the map with the coordinates. The only thing that messed me up a little bit was at first, I was looking just on the general map, and I thought I had it on the second continent, like on the very edge of the second continent. I had to go back and look at the map for a second and be like, oh, wait a minute, count it out, be like, oh, that's not on the second continent at all. So I'd have to make a second trip back down there, which apparently there are a lot of dragons down there, not super fun. But other than that, yeah, I was just counting off the vanilla map.
Yeah, it was a very interesting location for the search spot. Not typically a spot that you would go to under normal conditions, so not necessarily the easiest to count.
Yeah, I had to pause and actually count it out on the map and make sure that I didn't mess up my subtraction or something. I was like, wait, this is not going to land on a mountain tile, right? And I was like, desert. All right, let's.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna bury treasure somewhere, that's a pretty good place to put it where nobody's gonna find it.
That is good. I don't think I've ever seen it there before. I haven't done that many of these seeds, but that was it's a pretty good spot. I'll definitely agree with you.
It is, and we have Archfield now in the booth right now. That was a really good race, Archfield. How do you feel about it?
Well, to be honest, I'm a little disappointed. The last 10 minutes or so, I kept checking my map for the coordinates, and I thought it was one thing, and then I thought it was another thing, and it just got kind of all turned around. So I'm actually extremely disappointed with the way I played, sort of in the back half of that one mostly, but especially when it came to finding the harp. If I'd just gotten it when I was through Cantlin the first time, I would have been in much better shape.
Yeah, and it turns out it did cost you because it was what, 3-4 minutes, and that was the difference between you and Reg.